everyone, welcome to my layout for St. Patrick's Day for the American Crafts Design Team. Today I'll be using the Amy Tangerine Sunshine and Good Times line. I'm just zooming in to show you my thoughts for this layout, as I wanted it to be an editorial style or magazine style layout. So I hand lettered that title in Procreate on my iPad Pro and moved it into Photoshop and did my journaling and printed that before I started on the rest of the layout. And this is a Sunshine and Good Times stamp set, and it comes with the ink, which is really handy because the ink matches the line. So this green ink I'm using for the butterfly matches the paper I'll be using. And you can see I'm going to stamp the butterfly around in two different corners on the layout using that nice green ink. There we go. So I've stamped it again, and now I'm going to use another one of the stamps in this set, the little heart. And I'll also use the green ink to stamp the heart in 3 different places on the layout. That way I'll have 5 stamped images. I like to keep all of my items to an odd number. So heart number 3, these stamp really well. I didn't even have to use a stamp pad underneath. So I'm just cleaning this off with my Lawn Fawn stamp chamois before I put them back in the package. There we go. So there's the photo. I have to thank my niece for this photo. I've never been to Ireland, but I wanted to create sort of a manifesto. I'll be going on a trip with my mom and my sisters, and this paper right here is the crux of the whole layout. This paper is called Sending Smiles, and it's in the Sunshine and Good Times layout. See, there's the skew there I show you. And what's great about this is it looks like, when I cut these into leaf shapes, it looks like there's a vein down the center. So as long as you cut all the leaves with that center line there, it looks like it was just pre-made to be cut into leaf shapes. So here is a Fisker's punch that I used to just punch some white cardstock, and I'm going to go about layering lots and lots of stuff around the edge of this layout. Because it's about Ireland, and the Emerald Isle is known for lots of rain and lots of foliage and just a beautiful green country. So I really wanted to layer on lots of different punched bits and lots of different leaves and layers. And I have you can see in the shot there on the right, I have that punch from Tim Holtz, which is a 4-leaf clover. So I will hand cut lots and lots. You can see already I've hand cut, and you don't have to measure, you can just do a leaf shape with your detail scissors, really easy. And then I'm only gluing I'm using liquid glue so that I can glue a tiny section of the leaf so that I can bend it up off the paper. I really want a lot of dimension, and I want these leaves to look like they're just curling up off of the paper and growing, and lots of different organic looking. Like, none of them are going to be straight, they're going to be angled, really organic looking. So you can see I'm layering a lot of the white leafy bits underneath to just kind of soften the gap between the strong green color. I mean, it's a nice mid-tone green, but I wanted to a little bit soften the edge between the hand-cut leaves and the white background paper. And it just kind of adds some more texture as well. So I'm going to go about just hand cutting all of these and bending them in the middle where that veining is in the middle. I'll just bend and crease them all in the middle. There I'm showing you the back, and I'm only going to add, like I said, glue to a little portion and then bend it up. I'll push it down so the glue adheres, and then I'll bend up the edges of the leaf. And I'm using that napkin to dab just so that if I have any glue that squirts out from underneath the leaves, that it isn't visible on the layout at the end. So this quick dry is really good to use because it grabs quickly. And then my idea was I wanted to use the blue punch shapes, also from the Sunshine and Good Times line. I wanted to use these blue leafy bits only at the top where the sort of like where the sky would be. So I'm using that palette knife. Here I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see that better. I'm using the palette knife to hold when I put the glue down, just so that my hands don't get absolutely covered in glue. So I'll use it like a tool. And then here's the clover shape. So you can see I punched that from the blue heart paper. And the blue heart paper is called, let me look here, Shoe In. And so you'll notice I picked a certain pattern for each shape. So the clovers are mostly going to be in the Shoe In paper, but I also have some in a different green stripe as well, just to give a lot of interest, since that's going to be the only place the pattern is on this page, will be in the little leafy bits around the edge. So I'm going to try to cover the entire edge of the paper, which means that I'm going to have to layer lots of the white leafy bits and the green hand cut bits and the clovers. It's just going to be a long process of gluing and dabbing and piling and layering and fluffing up. And so you'll notice that I changed the speed on this to 4 times because it took quite a while, about 30 minutes, to glue all these bits on. But I think in the end it was really well worth it because there's so much texture on this page, and it really is. I want to scan this in and make it like my Ireland manifesto for my trip, and maybe make a copy to go in my traveler's notebook, just so that I have, because of the journaling, if you read the journaling, it's just a prompt and a mindset that I want to have when I travel there, because I've never gone on a trip with just my mom and my sisters and I. So this is a first for us in our entire life, and I've never been anywhere in Europe. This is the first time, so I really want to savor the experience and remember. So I'm going to be documenting every day we have there in my traveler's notebook, and so this is just a getting my mind ready for savoring those moments. And you'll notice that I didn't cut all the leaf shapes out of that green stripe. I did not cut them all the same size, so I wanted some tiny, some medium, some large, just to give a big variety. You'll notice I'm using that palette knife sometimes. If the leaves are really tiny, I use the palette knife to pull up the edges. So here you can see a close-up of that green paper that just is perfect for this. And you can see it's really easy to just make your own leaf shape. And I like the fact that because each of them is hand cut, they are all different. So just like in nature, there are going to be a variety of sizes, and it just looks more organic that way. So here I'm trying to decide, I want some of them under the white leafy bits, and some of the green will be over, just to give a lot of variety and a lot of layers to create some interest, since there's not that much on this page. And everything is, all the action or the layers is centered around the outside edge. So then the photo in the center really stands out. And that is the Cliffs of Moher in Ireland, which is a travel spot or a scenic destination that lots of people visit. And apparently I'm going to be going there, so I really wanted to focus on this layout from or photo from my niece. And you can see whenever the glue squishes out, I'm just going to use that napkin again. And for the clovers, I only put a dot in the center and then fluffed up all the leaves on the clover. So just continuing to build in different layers, and sometimes I put the white bits on the bottom and the blue bits on the bottom, and other times I put it on the top. And I don't want to completely cover that butterfly, but I do want to cover a portion of it, just because I think it creates more interest to have some of the layers peeking out that you can't see fully. So here I'll go about adding some of the blue bits in more towards the top, and you'll notice in the final, I have a couple final shots, and you'll notice that I have the blue punched bits are not as concentrated on the bottom portion of the layout. So just more hand cutting. Okay, so I'm back. I have completed all of the layers that I want around the edge of the page. Now I'm going to be working on the photo, and I'm going to put it up on craft foam so that it stands up off the background just a little bit. You can notice that I've layered some Dear Lizzie stickers from the planner sticker book there. You can see on the left side of the shot. I'm trimming off the extra white that ended up from printing the photo at home. And this photo is 3 by 4. I'm going to use my T-square to try to get it pretty much centered, and to make sure I put it on straight. Since there's not that much on the center of the layout, I need to make sure it's straight. So I'll use my American Crafts This and That tape runner, which holds really, really well, and I'll just cover the entire bit of craft foam. And now I'm using that T-square and pressing it down so that I can line up the bottom of my photo. pretty much looks straight, so I'll press that down. And then I'm going to add another clover up there where the gold, it's kind of like a gold, coppery gold, or almost a rose gold. And there's also that color in the reflective foil on the acetate butterfly on the top right. So 3 places on the layout have the reflective gold foiling. And then the clover kind of finishes off the layout. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe and check out the other places that you can find my work and look for the close-ups and stills at the end of this video. Thank you. Bye.